damage Invoker can do with a combo on the Lina. They will run into Fada first. He does grab his Relic though, so even if he dies, not a big deal. He also has this Hood for the barrier with Hand of God. He will get Death Warded as well, and finally will go down. Is there any response here from Secret? With the Firefly already on the deck, well, they could in theory go for a play. They will steal Conjure Image. Oh yeah, it's time to right-click things as Rubik. They'll catch the Terrorblade out in a bad position with the Rock, do a lot of damage to him, and Jerax right behind him. Jerax is going to die to the dots as No-Tail, he's out of mana. He got hit with the EMP, and now he can't actually sunder anything. Fly's going to try to keep him alive with that heal, but he's going to put himself at a lot of risk in doing so. No-Tail is going to actually not get hit with that Ice Wall, but still he doesn't have any mana, so I don't see how he's going to get
has to be somewhat scared of it. So they don't have any arcanes, I think, at all. So I wonder if he should try and counter it a bit, because I feel like mid one is gonna be playing a bit around EMP now that he's getting very up level. You generally just go for Tornado EMP, and I think it's a bit scary for No-Tail to not have a response to that.
I mean, it is not even, oh god, how do I get rid of this? It's not even maxed out just yet, that EMP, but as the Wex is built up, the Terrorblade, I guess the way you play around it is by what he's doing right now. You can't really depend on your allies to disassemble all their boots and start getting arcanes, although that would be like the dream scenario. He's just going to build stat items, and value stat items. I have Scotty on the Terrorblade is still an entirely normal build, having more intelligence, making sure that EMP doesn't completely drain him out. It's a pretty decent way to go for sure, but it's going to take him quite a long time to actually get those items up. I have Scotty is not a cheap item. So for right now, it seems like Secret do have this kind of ace in the hole in that EMP. If it does land on the Terrorblade, and if he spent any mana beforehand, which he will, on Mantis Tile, Metamorphosis, like, it's not that hard to burn him out, and OG just have to be careful about that Invoker. He's been farming the entire game, and this is kind of the situation they've got themselves in because of the lack of pressure on mid one.
If he can get 18 though, he's fine, but he's not farming. In experience, he's not doing great. He's keeping up a network, but he's kind of underleveled, I guess. He's not super underleveled, but he kind of wish he was like 17 or close to 17 by now. So he needs to kind of rush for that before they take team fights, which is kind of a weird thing, or Terrorblade like, I need my level 3 ultimate before we can fight. But that's kind of the situation he's in.
OG are not going to wait on top lane at least. They'll jump in toward the Chen. Pipe seemingly doesn't matter there, as they will just annihilate him with that Lina damage. Bottom lane is being pushed by mid one, very similar to the situations we saw earlier where Secret just leaving mid one to his own devices and making some, we'll call those trades elsewhere. But all this Midas gold, man, it's been a long time since they've been picked up at this point. Lifestealer, the roaming Lifestealer, yes, has the Maelstrom and the Armlet. Fada's got the Radiance, so he has his like kind of Midas item as well for helping him farm, and of course Chen does have that pipe, and mid one has like all the items he could ever want ever. So this sitting back and farming style for Secret is working out pretty well for them. Just looking at this net worth, like, yeah, they took a couple of decent fights earlier, but they're still just climbing and climbing in gold. And for OG, Resolution's doing pretty well for himself. He can keep up in farm. No-Tail can keep up in farm, but there's really not that much room for anyone else. Like, Blink Dagger on Jerax is most likely all he's going to get unless he, like, survives a big fight.
Yeah, it's gonna... I think Resolution needs to do some heavy lifting right now. Batrider got the 4-step though, finally, I might add. And the network difference is starting to become a bit troubling for OG. However, I think they definitely have a good chance at this game still. But the Secret has picked up the core items. The Radiance, Necro. Lifestealer got the base of item that he kind of needs to actually kill people at this stage. And mid one has got the Blink Ags BOT, so he can both pressure lanes and team fight pretty well. And are they going for a smoke play? They do not seem to have a smoke on them though, so they're just gonna run in apparently. Or he's getting a smoke option. It seems a bit rushed, as in they should have been smoking here.
Well, Fada and Yapzor still will move up towards top lane. Blink Dagger on the Necrophos, Blink Dagger on the Rubik. So getting anywhere near someone and they are going to very quickly go down. And it's not really your Storm Spirit Lifestealer combo, but it's budget. It'll work in a pinch. We'll poke around a little bit. OG will dodge that one in its entirety. And they are pushing down this bottom lane slowly but surely. Resolution, though, not feeling comfortable enough to actually hit this tower. I don't think he really should. I think he'd probably get away with it, honestly. Just a couple shots, what could it really hurt? He is just making sure that these lanes are keeping in OG's favor, just keeping Secret back. It does feel like, though, it's a matter of time before I expect it'll be Secret to go in for that Roche Pit first. Play some obs, maybe get a pick off if they can. Like a Bat Rider kill will be huge. Speaking of, Bat Rider is actually going to show his face a little bit.
Fata blinks over. That was a bit. S4 was standing there a second ago. But the game has slowed down a lot, and it doesn't really favor a particular team. I think the Midas doesn't really have more farm potential right now at this stage. It kind of did its job, and now it's just nice. Like Dina is gonna outfarm an Invoker, even though Invoker's having Midas. Oh, he's very far out on his solution. He has the BKB though.
He is gonna have to pop it, I think. He's gonna get pushed right back. Still in the Ice Wall and Meteor. This is all blind here from mid one. Sunstrike attempted. Lina is going to narrowly get out of that tornado range as well, and we'll just get out of there, preserving that 10-second BKB charge. But man, resolution mid one doing some serious damage despite not having the vision. This has been like at least 2 minutes now where Secret have been balled up as 4 or 5 heroes and not really doing all that much. And as I say that, they will immediately jump into that Roche Pit. Double damage on Lifestealer going to facilitate this, but No Tail is going to send a clone in and immediately scout this out. For Secrets, they definitely do have a powerful fight in this area, but answering the Bat Rider again is going to be very, very difficult, especially if it is Yapzor himself to get grabbed by S4. Right now, Fada is the only one presenting an S4. Despite having that Force Staff, doesn't look like he's super interested in going in right now.
My thrift rewarded.
No, he just used Firefly. You don't wanna initiate if you don't have Firefly, unless it's like an insane, like it's so good that you have to go. But the game is very slow right now. Both teams are making some minor moves, or Secret are making some minor moves to find pickoffs, but they're not. They haven't used the smoke in some time, you know. If they use smoke, it would be they could go a bit deeper, but they're just hoping to find someone without using the smoke and then getting a free Roche. But OG has been playing not only safe, but they've played safe, but they managed to farm at the same time, which is pretty good for them. And another time,
Be grabbed by S4. The pipe is going to help him quite a bit as Fada does jump in right into the middle of things. Puppey will go down. Hand of God now off the table as Ace is going to try to gun for Fly, but doesn't actually have any true sight. Resolution can have quite a bit of damage from the Invoker as well. BKB, though, will be able to slip out and is in the back. It's Ace by himself getting picked off. There's the Ice Wall and the Laguna Blade's stolen by Yapzor, which will kill off No Tail, and they'll also drop Fly, but at the cost of Fada. Yapzor in mid one, the sole survivors here as they do very aggressively look for some of those fights, and they'll maybe find S4. His Force Staff just gets him up to the high ground. Resolution is still here. He thinks Invis is going to keep him safe. He's going to take a lot of damage. Pushed back by the Deafening Blast. Couple more right clicks will do him in. Actually does end up killing himself. But Secret, that Sentry and Obs combo dropping a little bit too late to get that Lifestealer some of those early kills, and is going to cost them quite a bit there.
Yeah, that was pretty good team fight from Secret, especially I think Rubik played very well, and mid one of course. Terrible was scarily close to actually getting a Sunra off, and if he did, I'm pretty sure Secret would have gotten wiped. So they did realize they could blow him up, and they did, and both the follow-up and the initiation was, or I guess the reactive play from Secret was decent at least, and then they coordinated well enough to blow a Turbid up, which is not always easy in a chaotic fight like that. But OG do show some sign of life, and it's also scary, you know. If he gets a Thunder up there, I'm pretty sure they get wiped. So Secret has to play according to that. But there's a Linkus on mid one as well, so that's also, you have to be super scared about that, because he is definitely the type of player that could realize who is gonna Sandra and place it on the hero even.
That is also a pretty ideal scenario there for OG as far as initiation is concerned. Would be, I think, grabbing Yapsor. Hasn't really worked out so far, but grabbing Puppey, making sure that all these auras that he's offering to his team are off the table. So no Insight aura, no barrier for his team. I think it was just a personal barrier from the pipe, and of course no Hand of God. It's a lot of assets that Secret has at their disposal, just completely off the table first thing. So if S4 can replicate that a handful more times, then yeah, he'll be in a pretty clean state of game. The BKB on him, he'll make it so it's almost impossible for Secret to actually do anything about a lasso play. Scythe can stun, but I'm pretty sure that's just a fight-losing move if you just use Scythe to cancel a Bat Rider's initiation and you don't have it afterwards with no ags or anything like that. So Secret do have to watch out, do have to keep their obs up, and they will look to smoke in. Did Yapsor just break his smoke? Yeah. Still has the Laguna Blade, and I guess we'll call this a Rubik fading for the rest of his team.
Fine. You don't have to 5-man smoke. I think 4-man smoking is generally better. S4...
Find a target nearby. There is a bat, there's a Terrorblade, just illusions for right now. Fly's in a pretty vulnerable spot right now, and they will catch him with the Cold Snap. They do silence the Invoker, but it doesn't matter. He's super dead. Puppey's charging forward. And Fada is as well with the Ghost Shroud, slowing down a handful of heroes. Ace is going to pop out. S4 is going to force Staff out without using a lasso. And with the Tornado on him, he may just go down to that Scythe now, onto the Terrorblade. Sunstrike there as well. Will not connect. It will be a forced buyback onto Fly, as from the high ground, he is going to do quite a bit of damage to this Death Orb. We can see now the difference that a Chen makes. With the Hand of God, will keep them all fairly healthy. Laguna Blade still stolen. Will end up killing off No Tail. Fada with the Ghost Shroud. Trying to slip out right now. Jerax, he is going to keep that Magnetize on the enemies, but it's not doing quite enough with that Insight Aura. They'll try to go for the Lifestealer, but end up giving over another spell towards Yapsor. Resolution on the front lines. Oh, that dodge of the Laguna Blade from Yapsor. We said earlier, he's an above average Rubik player. Jesus.
That was brutal. What an outplay from Yapsor. Not only, you know, dodging the Laguna Blade, but the Laguna Blade to kill Terrorblade earlier. That was a pleasure to watch for sure. And I was gonna say that Secret like initiation. They're not having an easy time to find, but then mid one is like, okay, I'm done. I'm just gonna kill a hero here, and then you can do whatever. And they just kinda overrun OG, but unfortunately S4 kinda had to just try and get over the high ground, and he did. But mid one is, I think mid one and Yapsor just playing way above the even like average for the top pros. Oh, what a reaction skill from mid one.
Sidesteps the LSA. Ice Wall though is off the mark. Yapsor will fix that as he throws Resolution right back in. There is no suicide, there's no BKB. There is only death for Resolution, as they will kind of show off mid one's gem, but it's gonna be certainly well worth it. Getting rid of all those Observer sentries that were hanging around the mid lane. You know, a pretty easy clear out there. Lina does have quite a few Bloodstone charges, so respawn timer not going to be too bad for her, but it does seem like Secret now with this double life on the Necrophos, thinking about making a little bit more of an aggressive play. We have another Lifestealer Wild Wing gank, just pacing around looking for some opportunities. And one is going to set up for this bottom lane. Looks like they're just going to try to make this their home, and at this point it seems like it is pretty much all in the hands of S4 and No Tail's Sunder. If they land those spells, they have a shot, but otherwise it's looking pretty darn rough against this Aegis.
Yeah, I think Yapsor is kind of becoming too scary in a weird way. You know, the position 5 Rubik is too scary, but that's kind of what's approaching for OG now, where sure they can blow up a core now, but even then you are very far behind. Even the supports are having a very, very high impact at this stage. And Puppey doesn't have any. He has like aura items, so he's not doing like insane things like Yapsor and mid one. But he's still probably the hero you have to kill first, so it's easier for Secret to play around because Puppey has to die.
It's so easy to disrespect the
top
amount of
lane
value they have on these auras. They will catch mid one up towards top though. With the lasso, they'll bring him back in.
They messed up.
Yeah, they don't quite have enough CC and damage there, so mid one's gonna survive, and Fly He'll be left behind by his allies. They all were on top lane partying. He was left alone at home. Feels bad, man. They will maybe catch the Rubik here. That's a self-Yules and a blink out. Now it's going to set up perfectly. This damage from Lina, though, is being mostly blocked by the auras from Puppey. They still will finally kill off the Rubik in the end. BKB and Resolution holding strong for right now, but the Scythe will put a quick end to that Terror Blade. Resolution now the only one who's really doing damage, and with the nukes from the Chen, will get kicked out by Jerax. Still is hit with that Cold Snap, but it looks like out of Radiant's range. Will be able to make it back to her fountain. S4, though, maybe doesn't have that luxury. Force Staff down to the low ground now. We live in a mirror world, seems like, for this fight. S4 blinking away from his base, away from any help. And maybe he's just going to waste some time, but he's being chased down by an Invoker, a pissed off Invoker at that. Unstoppable for Midwan, and Ace and Fada in the meantime, both very healthy after having very quickly dealt with that Terror Blade. Will deal with bottom lane Rax, and maybe even a second lane. Puppey still has his entire army alive. I don't know how he does it. But they will go for 2, and with no Terror Blade for 50, I don't know if they have enough damage here. Fada, he doesn't have another Scythe or anything like that, but man, they don't really need a Scythe. There's no Terror Blade to need to Scythe down. They'll just be happy going in with perhaps another Infest or another Deafening Blast combo on mid one. Actually make the conservative play and fall back for right now.
They are still sitting on Aegis on Fada, so they might be gonna re-go soon. Most of the time I think you would go and kill Shrines here, but with the Aegis still intact, there is definitely a timing they could go for.
Their position is perfectly spotted by OG's creep wave. OG still have a couple more seconds now until their Terror Blade is up. We'll have a buyback as well. But Yapzor is the hero that they're waiting for, and he is back. They're going to try to wait for someone to defend bottom lane perhaps and jump on him. Fada's definitely thinking about it, but Resolution does have a BKB jump in. Scythe, no BKB available here. 100 seconds, Lina is dead. And Fada is going to get lassoed, but his Aegis is going to mean that they don't have to actually go and save him. They can let him die, at least for right now. And you have a BKB for a second life. They buy out on Resolution, and Fada may need some help here. The stuns are going to land perfectly on the mark. BKB not used just yet. It's a little bit too late, as Fly with the damage will take him down, but now they have to deal with everyone else. Mid one is in the front lines right now, not where he wants to be. He's going to get caught with the stuns and will be brought down, giving the gem over to OG. Rolling forward, looking for more. Yapzor is going to reflect up pretty much everyone. Has a blink out of here, maybe? No, can't quite get it out. Now they're on to the Lifestealer as well. They lift him up. Ace going to try to TP out of here. Lasso is not available. They sunder him for damage. It's not going to do enough. They do take down a hell of a lot there, OG, but the cost is high. They lose mid-Rax, and they do have to buy back on the Lina.
The upside is that they still have meta though, so this push is not gonna be. It's not gonna take a long time. This is gonna be a lot of damage coming towards Secret now, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna be forced to buy back. But the question is how many and who. That's the main. I think it should be mid one right now, and they wait for the others.
There it is. This is an Arcane Runed Terror Blade. So even more illusions. He'll have another Metamorphosis sooner. We'll see what mid one can do. Invoker is pretty much the king of defending high ground, unless he's up against Batrider. But Batrider is actually going to jump in on someone else instead. It's the Lifestealer, who is in a lot of trouble, but with the Rage will actually consider turning around onto Jerax. Not quite enough damage there. Disarm goes off on a no-tail Resolution as well. Kind of getting bottled up here in this choke point. Sunstrike does land perfectly onto the Terror Blade, but there's no more chase. No, there is chase. Mid one gonna blink forward, finds the poor Witch Doctor, and he's gonna get taken down by the summons. They're also looking at no tail, trying to TP out, kick out from Jerax. Will prevent them from actually stunning him. That's gonna cost Jerax's life, but Jerax, not to be outdone by Yapzor's clutch plays, is gonna make a clutch play of his own, securing them their Terror Blade. Mid one though still wants in on S4, who is gonna have that gem to give over. Back to Secret.
No buyback on him.
Yeah, he doesn't have a buyback, so it's just 2, maybe 3 versus 5 right now, as Secret are going to push in once more, perhaps to finish off that mid-Rax. Although we do have Fada. His Radiance is on with the Shadow Blade, which is not exactly sneaky, but still, this is going to be really tough for OG to defend against. They'll have the Witch Doctor buyback as well, but just 15 seconds respawn. They will actually expend it. This range Rax was pretty much forfeit anyway, so I'm not entirely sure that timing was really what they want, but Secret, they do want everything right now. They're going to look for the Megas. Resolution with the LSA will land it onto Ace. Laguna Blade can do quite a bit of damage, but it will be stolen once again by Yapzor. Ace with the auras from Puppey will just take no damage from that Lina's right clicks. And he also has that AC, of course. He will be able to slip out to safety, provide a little more damage with that Assault Cuirass for his team to right-click down these buildings. Fada gonna jump right in the sight onto the No-Tail Terror Blade. They'll take him down with the Laguna Blade, perfectly layered onto him. He's down for 100 seconds. They may bring down Ace, they may not, but ultimately it doesn't even matter because Resolution, he's gonna have to kill himself as Jerax is gonna run off to the backside of the fight. He will survive, but his base will not. The game will be ended in favor of Secret. And my god, you jump in, you scythe a Terror Blade, and then you drop everything on him, including a Laguna Blade stolen. Yeah, it works pretty well.
Yeah, even though I think they had a lack of initiation potential in Secret, they kind of made it work somehow with nice randomization and kind of like maybe very aggressive plays. OG did show signs of life though in this game. I think the play when they dived bottom kind of early with the counterplay from Rubik, when that play when they lost Batrider was really rough for OG. Put that back a ton because they lost both top towers, and then they didn't really manage to make a comeback. They had a nice team fight, but at the end there, mid one had the insane deafening blast from high ground to save Ace when OG was pushing. If they killed Ace there, maybe the game could look different. But mid one and Yapzor just played insane and didn't really give OG a chance.
I mean, you get Secret, Puppey Chen, Yapzor Rubik, mid one Invoker. It's like they're, I don't want to say like their most comfortable heroes, but they're pretty darn comfortable with these heroes. Guys, this is just game one in this best of 3 to determine who is going to stay in and who is going to just be out. This is grand finals. I'm Mike Loris. I've been joined by Kefka. Don't go anywhere, guys. Game 2 is coming shortly.